Hi everyone, welcome to the UK's first look at the new True Catalyst PX3 equipment. We're just going to be focusing on the leg pads in this video, as the gloves, as fantastic as they are, haven't really changed from the L20.2s that were reviewed last year. So rather than repeat information that you've already heard, we're just going to focus on the leg pads, which is where most of the updates have come from. So a huge thank you to True Hockey, all of our friends in Canada, the Lefebvre family, for helping us to bring these leg pads to you to be able to review both on and off the ice. We're extremely grateful for the opportunity. So yeah, let's dive in. These are obviously made at the NHL factory in Montreal, Canada, to sort of full NHL specs, just to keep the reviews in line with all of those that we've done so far this year. These are somewhat of an evolution of the L12.2 leg pads from a couple of years ago. There are some significant changes from that leg pad, which is what was going to form the basis of this video. So on first looks, I hope you'll agree, they look absolutely fantastic. We had a lot of fun designing these on the customizer. The graphics are great. So we've gone with the sort of straight silver with black weave, which I hope you all think will agree is a great looking leg pad. We've gone for the weave material on the sliding surface here. As personally, I feel that allows the best sort of slide, especially on UK ice, which I think we can all agree, especially at certain times of year, is not the greatest. We quite often get sort of very inconsistent ice quality across the UK, so by adding weave to this slide material there, it gives us the best chance of still moving across the crease, even when the ice is questionable at times, shall we say. So I'm just going to focus on the main improvements on these, or changes from the L12.2s. We're not going to compare too much to the 20.2s, as it's a completely different line of leg pad, so there are going to be sort of quite a lot of feature changes. So in comparison to the 12.2s, these are incredibly stiff. The 12.2s are more of what I would call like an E-flex type pad, so designed to be a lot softer, whereas these are, especially in the thigh rise, these are 30% stiffer than their predecessors. True have completely redesigned the top half of the pad to allow for a smoother sort of overlap, so both in your stance and dropping into butterfly. So they've done that, as you can see, by thinning out the top of the pad there. See, they're quite significantly thinned out. The previous pads were this thickness all the way up, so I'd say that's about half as thick towards the top of the thigh rise there. True have introduced a composite core to the top half of the pad, just to allow that to stay nice and stiff. So I mentioned before about it being 30% stiffer in the thigh rise than the previous sort of L12.2s, and a lot of that just comes from having composite from about here on the knee break all the way upwards. That's all composite, so that does not move. I would actually say these are stiffer than the 20.2s that were reviewed last year, which I was really surprised at. So True have also, with that sort of rigidity, they've sort of made the knee block a little bit stiffer. In my opinion, still quite a lot of play in that. I'd like to see that a lot more stable, just to keep in line with some of the other pads that we reviewed this year that have very sort of stiff and stable knee blocks that, you know, in other pads are built into the sidewall of the pad there. Hopefully we see that on future True lines. I'd like to see it a little bit rigid, but this is definitely an improvement on the 20.2s and the 12.2s in terms of how sort of stiff and stable that is there. True have kept the fast rotation system on the strapping here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So it allows a lot of adjustability through there. You can have that as tight or as loose as you want around both the top end and the bottom end of the calf there. Does take a bit of dialing in, but there's about 3 or 4 different points of adjustment there through the Velcro, so you can get them exactly how you want them. So they react and they move or don't move on the leg as much as you want them to. I'm a bit old school, so I've still gone for the leather straps on the knee and on the boot there. One day I might be brave enough to take them off, but at the moment I'm comfortable with it, so I've left that there. But obviously there's custom options to remove those completely if you want to. I've gone for a bit more of a stiffer and a steeper boot there, just through preference. I like the stiffer boot that the L20.2s and those flat face type pads offer you, so I've kept that on there just to keep a bit of height in the leg pad and also some stiffness throughout the core. You can order these with a softer sort of pad surface or a stiffer one, more in line with the 20.2s. I've gone for the stiffer one just to keep it in line with the types of pads that I like and that I use. But you can fully customize that. We have actually ordered another set that have a much sort of softer pad surface and also a bit more sort of flex through the knee as well. So yeah, it's a very, very quick review. I'm really excited to get these on the ice and to review them properly. But on first impressions, they look great. They're nice and stiff on the top there, and hopefully that allows a lot more stability through the top half of the pad. So that's it. That's our first impressions of the leg pads. Hope you'll agree that they look great, and I hope that they perform as well as they look. If you have any questions or comments, please drop us a message or leave it on the comments on Instagram. And please stay tuned in the coming weeks for some on-ice footage as we start to review these properly. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.